I mean, that son of a bitch, you know, is really unbelievable.
Mr. Son of a bitch.
I mean,
Mr. Son of a bitch.
His royal. Yes, yeah, no, I never imagined that we'd ever have a president like this, and I hope we don't ever have another president like this again.
Anything to talk about. Kimmel was given each one of them was given a reset except for Seth. I didn't even know he was still on the air.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody did. Everyone's watching Forensic Files.
Yes.
No one's watching Seth.
One of the greatest shows ever.
Yeah, but these guys, they had opportunities to reset. Kimmel could have came back and tried to be funny again, or bring guests again, or show any kind of change, but they're really going to ride this out to the last drop. What are they going to do when he's gone?
Tyrus just did the unthinkable. He called out Jimmy Kimmel and Hollywood just flinched. You could almost hear the collective gasp echoed down Sunset Boulevard. The late-night jester versus the ex-pro wrestler turned truth-teller. The man who built a career laughing at his own jokes just got called out by someone who doesn't find them funny. What did Kimmel say this time? And why does it feel like Tyrus isn't just coming for Jimmy, but for the entire machine behind him? Buckle up. This isn't just entertainment. This is demolition.
It's not the party. It's not the majority. It's the loud voices that scare people from saying what they believe and make you think twice about a joke or whatever, these things. And, a lot of their points are valid, but a lot of them are also just repulsive. And I mean, they repel people from, they go like, oh, you're no fun. I don't want to be around you.
Before we go any further, hit that like button because you're going to want front row seats for this one. Tyrus finally snapped. The man who used to body slam giants in the ring just started body slamming egos in Hollywood. This wasn't wrestling anymore. It was war, verbal steel chairs, no script, no safety net, no mercy. And the opponent? Not some muscle-bound showman in tights.
Are they going to be with Rosie O'Donnell in a 4-way Zoom podcast about Trump ruining their life still?
I'm glad you didn't stop at 4-way. Although in my head I can see it.
Oh, come on, man. My mouth was open.
Nope, this time, it was the porcelain prince of late-night television himself, Jimmy Kimmel. The Hollywood court jester. The man who treats cue cards like commandments and believes crocodile tears count as courage.
I have one ex-wife. That's it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, you tell him.
I had some scruples. Okay? I'll have one-night stands, but I will not marry people I don't love, okay? There's a certain line there.
You can't teach this cracker that.
And the matchup. Nowhere close to fair. On one side, Tyrus built like a tank, speaks like a freight train, unfiltered, unafraid, unbothered. On the other, Kimmel, the man who once cried on live TV and thought it was a TED Talk.
I really think if they're going to continue to do a podcast, they need to bring their writers in. Ooh. Because that was brutal.
Terrible. They're out of touch.
It's like listening to two billionaires complaining about no one had change for their $100 bill at McDonald's.
The internet saw it coming like sharks smelling blood. This wasn't going to be a difference of opinion. This was a cultural collision. A roast with no punchline. A heavyweight brawl where one side brought punchlines and the other brought truth.
They're like 3 ex-lovers.
Yes.
Who just found out about each other. Mm-hmm. And they're all getting together to talk about, and they all still love.
Right.
And they're just sizing each other up, trying to figure out which one of us has the best shot to get back with him.
Yes.
They all get together, they compare notes, and they tell each other, yeah, you should never mention his name again. You should never mention his name again. You should never. Does he call you? Doesn't call me? He texted me last week. Oh, so I'm still in the game. That's all this was. And that's why nobody cares.
So here comes Kimmel, armed with smugness. Stage lights and a teleprompter full of Reddit jokes his writers barely Googled. He rolls out his "I'm better than you" act, applause signs flashing, audience trained to laugh on command. But before the next self-congratulatory smirk could land, Tyrus stepped in. No props, no punchline. Just reality, and a verbal folding chair that hit harder than anything Hollywood's felt in years. You could almost hear the crack of ego. Tyrus didn't just roast Kimmel, he disassembled him. The everyman comedian who hasn't been relatable since flip phones? The man who mistakes mockery for activism. The guy who thinks sneering at truck drivers is a social movement. Sorry, Jimmy, it's not courage. It's copy-paste comedy.
So annoyed. All I had was a crisp 100. They had no change. I was like, what is this world coming to? That's why I'm moving to Italy, girl. I know, me too.
Greg,
Like, it's just...
can I say something, Greg?
Tyrus cut straight through the Hollywood fog machine. He didn't come for clout, he came for clarity. Someone had to say it. Kimmel's idea of punching up is mocking people who shop at Walmart while sipping $1,000 wine in a studio sponsored by companies that still think edgy means TikTok dances. But when Tyrus said it, it hit different. Because this wasn't coming from a celebrity bubble. It came from a man who's lived both sides, the grit and the grind. The guy who earned his mic the hard way? Suddenly, Kimmel's authentic everyman persona looked like a Halloween costume. The empathy act evaporated the second someone talked back. It's wild the same man who used to prank call strangers now melts down when someone pranks him with honesty.
One government crossing guard goes, go ahead.
How did you feel watching Kimmel cry?
One of his tears fell out. Hold on. You know, it's funny how this derangement's working, because it only seems to work if you have a camera in front of you.
Fans? Oh, they went feral! The internet turned into a digital coliseum. One half cheering Tyrus just body-slammed Hollywood. The other scrambling to defend Kimmel with decade-old clips of his last funny joke. Spoiler, there weren't many. This wasn't just celebrity drama. It was a cultural earthquake. Tyrus versus the machine. The man who said maybe it's time late night learned to laugh at itself. And for Kimmel, that's sacrilege. For a guy who built a career mocking the common man, suddenly he looked allergic to criticism. That's why the internet loved it, because Tyrus didn't attack out of bitterness. He exposed hypocrisy. He showed that the Hollywood rebel became exactly what he used to mock. The millionaire moralist who preaches humility from a mansion.
About the ex-wife's club.
Yeah.
You know, they just sit around, be funny, or they're setting up for when they're all canceled, their tour, their three-man show.
Yes.
Come watch us say how much we hate the president.
Hollywood insiders started whispering, "The man's got a point." Kimmel looked like the class clown who just realized he's the punchline. He's been living in a bubble of canned laughter and fake authenticity, and now there's no applause sign to save him. People began comparing his scripted monologues to Tyrus's raw, off-the-cuff fire. It wasn't even close. The memes came faster than his writers could respond. Tyrus didn't just win the feud, he hijacked the narrative. Suddenly, the emperor of late night was naked and unfunny. The recycling bin full of old jokes was finally overflowing.
The whole thing is they act like he got into the White House, and right as he got in, he's like, your list that you wrote for him, for people to go get. It's like, ICE, here they are, go round them up. No one gives a frog's fat ass what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if they did, they would have stopped that podcast immediately.
Right. Yes, that's right.
What this feud really exposed was the tightrope between comedy and activism, and how Kimmel's been wobbling on it blindfolded. Pretending punchlines are progress? Pretending virtue signaling is bravery? And Tyrus just said it plain, you're not saving the world, Jimmy, you're saving your ratings. It became a cultural civil war, Hollywood elites versus the people tired of being lectured by them. One side wants permission slips to laugh. The other just wants jokes without a sermon. Tyrus represented that second side, rough, unfiltered, unapologetically real. And the crowd, they were starving for it. Because real always beats rehearsed.
Expected to walk into work, stepping over, crying, to your credit, libtards.
Yes.
Like, oh, excuse me, oh, tear.
Yes.
There we go. But it wasn't. Everybody went back to their lives.
Yeah.
So apparently the only way this heartbreak works is if you film it or force someone else to film it.
Right.
But to your point about Carson, we never knew his political affiliation because he was there to make everyone laugh. All the late night shows were.
That's exactly what Hollywood can't process. Someone who doesn't care about being liked. Kimmel's entire empire runs on approval. Tyrus couldn't care less. That's why he wins without even trying. Kimmel fired back, but his comebacks landed like old reruns. All talk, no teeth. You could see the nerves. Every clapback sounded like another overcooked monologue reheated from last week. Meanwhile, Tyrus reminded everyone what comedy used to be: dangerous, honest, raw. Not curated by HR watching him tear down. Kimmel's fake moral throne was like watching the lights go out in a room full of illusions. The audience finally saw reality.
Clown went all in on ignoring reality and blames MAGA.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
So MAGA is desperately trying to portray Kirk's killer as not one of them. If that man was any more full of shit, he'd be a colostomy bag. That was 2 days ago, so Kimmel had the chance to walk it back, but he can't.
It's poetic, really. Kimmel built his empire mocking others. Now he's the one being laughed at and not in the way he planned. Every fake chuckle just made him look smaller. The internet can smell fear, and right now his PR team is bleeding out in real time. Meanwhile, Tyrus, cool, calm, meme-fueled, undefeated. He doesn't need to win officially. He already lives rent-free inside the mind of the man paid to make people laugh. It's poetic justice. Kimmel once risked jokes, now he risks nothing. He's become the punchline of his own hypocrisy. Comedy was supposed to challenge power, not beg for its approval.
Such a big, murderous election on one side that it should have been a reset. Because when it happened in 20, when he lost and Biden got in, I don't remember us doing an episode on coping skills. There was no line in the audience where I was like, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you. We just like, well, let's keep going. And I believe we made fun of the situation and ourselves. So I always tell people, try to be the bigger man, which is ironic. But
impossible.
In this case, because the poor sportsmanship is coming from TV, normally I would say you can have one lap and smell your flowers, but go ahead and take 4.
Tyrus walked out of that feud with more fans, more respect, and one undeniable victory. He ripped the mask off late night's biggest illusion that fame equals wisdom, that a platform equals morality, that applause equals truth. And when Tyrus drops the mic, it hits like a finisher. Because he's not just fighting one man, he's fighting a culture of curated compassion, fake humility, and pre-approved punchlines. Kimmel can keep his cue cards. Tyrus has authenticity, and that's something no writer's room can script.
Last night, Jimmy Kimmel returned to his show and gave a self-pitying, tearful non-apology. But I gotta say, it's nice to see someone crying at Kimmel's show besides the audience. Kimmel failed to correct his lie that Charlie Kirk's assassin was a MAGA supporter, but he cited Jesus as inspiration for forgiveness. True, Jesus forgave his executioners, but Jesus also cast demons into a herd of pigs.
And that's the real twist. Tyrus didn't just call out Jimmy Kimmel. He exposed the circus, the fake outrage, the moral theater, the illusion that being famous means being right. He ripped through it like a wrestler tearing down a cardboard prop, and the crowd loved every second. Because in a world drowning in spin, Tyrus gave us something dangerous again, the truth, with a smirk. This wasn't just a feud, it was a wake-up call. The moment someone finally told Hollywood's favorite funny man, take off the mask. The show's over.